Story of Village Pallampur. Learning about Village Pallampur. Let us learn more about the first three factors of production. For convenience, we will refer to the physical capital as the capital in this chapter. Farming in Pallampur. Land is fixed. Farming is the main production activity in Pallampur. 75% of the people who are working are dependent on farming for their livelihood. They could be farmers or farm laborers. The well-being of these people is closely related to production on the farms. Land area under cultivation is practically fixed. Since 1960 in Pallampur, there has been no expansion in land area under cultivation. Information. The standard unit of measuring land is hectare, though in the villages you may find land area being discussed in local units such as bigha, guintha, etc. 1 hectare equals the area of a square with one side measuring 100 meters. Is there a way one can grow more from the same land? Pallampur would resemble a village of the western part of the state of Uttar Pradesh because of the kinds of crops grown and facilities available. All land is cultivated in Pallampur. No land is left idle. During the rainy season, Kharif, farmers grow jawar and bajra. These plants are used as cattle feed. It is followed by cultivation of potato between October and December. In the winter season, Rabi, fields are sown with wheat. From the wheat produced, farmers keep enough wheat for the family's consumption and sell the surplus wheat at the market at Raiganj. A part of the land area is also devoted to sugarcane, which is harvested once every year. Sugarcane, in its raw form or as jaggery, is sold to traders in Shahpur. The main reason why farmers are able to grow 3 different crops in a year in Pallampur is due to the well-developed system of irrigation. Electricity came early to Pallampur. Its major impact was to transform the system of irrigation. Persian wheels were till then used by farmers to draw water from the wells and irrigate small fields. People saw that the electric run tube wells could irrigate much larger areas of land more effectively. The first few tube wells were installed by the government. Soon, however, farmers started setting up private tube wells. As a result, by mid-1970s, the entire cultivated area of 200 hectares was irrigated. Not all villages in India have such high levels of irrigation. Apart from the riverine plains, coastal regions in our country are well irrigated. In contrast, plateau regions such as the Deccan Plateau have low levels of irrigation. Of the total cultivated area in the country, a little less than 40% is irrigated even today. In the remaining areas, farming is largely dependent on rainfall. To grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. It is the most common way of increasing production on a given piece of land. All farmers in Pallampur grow at least two main crops. Many are growing potato as the third crop in the past 15 to 20 years. One way of increasing production from the same land is by multiple cropping. The other way is to use modern farming methods for higher yield. Till the mid 1960s, the seeds used in cultivation were traditional ones with relatively low yields. Traditional seeds needed less irrigation. Farmers used cow dung and other natural manure as fertilizer. All these were readily available with the farmers who did not have to buy them. The Green Revolution in the late 1960s introduced the Indian farmer to cultivation of wheat and rice using high-yielding varieties, HYVs, of seeds. Compared to the traditional seeds, the HYV seeds promised to produce much greater amounts of grain on a single plant. As a result, the same piece of land would now produce far larger quantities of food grains than was possible earlier. HYV seeds, however, needed plenty of water and also chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce best results. Higher yields were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. Farmers of Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the modern farming method in India. The farmers in these regions set up tube wells for irrigation and made use of HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, and pesticides in farming. Some of them bought farm machinery like tractors and threshers, which made plugging and harvesting faster. They were rewarded with high yields of wheat. In Pallampur, the yield of wheat grown from the traditional varieties was 1300 kg per hectare. With the HYV seeds, the yield went up to 3200 kg per hectare. There was a large increase in the production of wheat. Farmers now had greater amounts of surplus wheat to sell in the markets. Pesticides too produce best results. Higher yields were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, pesticide, etc. Farmers of Punjab, Haryana, and western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the modern farming method in India. The farmers in these regions set up tube wells for irrigation and made use of HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers, and pesticides in farming.